In the demi-plane of dread of Darkon, the Dark Lord Azalin Rex has gone missing, leaving the plane open to political and supernatural threats. In this video, I'm bringing you a character build that puts you in the shoes of a retired member of Darkon's secret police, the Karget, traveling throughout the mist, leaving no stone unturned, trying to uncover the mystery behind the disappearance of Azalin Rex. Hey everyone, welcome to Dungeoneers Pack. This is Josh and thank you for watching. Before jumping into the build, here are some things to keep in mind. I'm going to focus on levels 1 to 10 as most campaigns are played in this level range, and builds on this channel are built with a focus on the concept, but also will be viable for combat and roleplay. To set us on the path of a supernatural investigator, there are 3 goals for this build. For our combat role, members of the Karget are trained assassins. We will be a striker, weaving in and out of combat, focusing our attention on key targets. Naturally, as an investigator, we will have a keen eye to spot things that others will miss and be able to dig further to uncover the truth. The last goal is that I will be choosing options that are reflective of our character's lineage and training as a member of the Karget, which will tie them all to the demi-planes of dread. For our ability scores, prioritize dexterity for our attacks, initiative, skills, and armor class. The dexterity superstat is in full force for this build. This character is stealthy and agile. They strike swift and with a purpose. Follow that up with intelligence to support some of our abilities, especially our skills. We can't solve this mystery without a solid bonus to investigate. Then choose constitution for a solid amount of hit points. Next is wisdom for a minor improvement to our perceptiveness. Follow this up with charisma, and strength is our dump stat. Given the gift of immortality by the Karganate, a secret society within the Karget, this character has served a dozen lifetimes over as part of Darkon's law enforcement agency. Just like many other members in the Karget, we are a vampire, so for our race, I will with Dhampir. The Dhampir lineage grants us the option to add a +2 to any single ability and a +1 into another, or the option to add a +1 to 3 ability scores of our choice. We have an increased movement speed of 35 feet, the standard dark vision, and no longer need to breathe. With Spider Climb, we are able to climb walls, and Vampiric Bite allows us to make a bite attack that we can regain some hit points with, or provide a bonus to the next ability or attack roll we make. To play up the detective angle, it makes perfect sense to choose the investigator background from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Investigator gives us proficiency with the investigation and perception skills, a disguise kit, and thieves tools. In combination, these skills and tools will help us uncover clues. Perception gets the added bonus of helping us scout for the party, able to detect and avoid any danger that comes our way. Now getting into the level breakdown, starting at level 1, we are going Rogue. The class encompasses the combination of speed and skill we need for this build. In addition to our class proficiencies, we are proficient with these tools, but since we already gained that proficiency from our background, just choose another tool. Along with the tool proficiency, we are proficient with 4 skills, and I went with Acrobatics, Insight, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth. Acrobatics is there as proof of our martial training, helping us to avoid danger. Sleight of Hand and Stealth round out our espionage skills as a former member of the Karget, and Insight could stem from our vampiric instincts. As a natural predator, we are adept at reading the intentions of others. We also pick up Sneak Attack for some additional bonus damage to our attacks, Thieves' Cant, which could be a code spoken between other members of the Karget, and Expertise, which allows us to double our proficiency bonus with 2 skills, and I went with Investigation and Perception. With level 2, we gain Cunning Action, which will allow us to use our bonus action to dash, dodge, or hide. At level 3, we can choose a Rogue subclass, and while Inquisitive would fit with this build, I opted to go with Arcane Trickster as many of the spells gained reflect vampiric abilities. Mage Hand Ledgermane will grant us the Mage Hand cantrip with some expanded features, mainly to use the hand to help pick locks with thieves tools and stow away or pull out an item. Along with Mage Hand, we can cast more spells, and here are my recommendations. Minor Illusion to help create visual or auditory distractions to help us stealth around. Booming Blade or Sappy Sting as offensive options. Booming Blade pairs nicely with our Cunning Action as we can attack, then use our Cunning Action to back away so that if the enemy decides to retaliate, they have to move towards us and it will trigger the extra damage from Booming Blade. Sapping Sting could be flavored as our character manipulating the blood or mind of a target to cause them to drop prone, so our allies can gain advantage on their attacks. With the exception of 1 spell on this list, all of our spells have to be from the enchantment or illusion schools of magic. Charm Person, which is our vampiric ability to hypnotize a creature. Silent Image as another powerful tool to trick or distract others while trying to sneak around. Silvery Barbs as a defensive tool, speaking dark words of power to protect yourselves or our teammates. And Detect Magic as an investigation tool to find magic items or other forms of magic. Next, at level 4, we have the option between an ability score increase or a feat, and I went with a feat, choosing skill to gain proficiency in the Arcana, History, and Religion skills. Being a vampire, we've lived a long life, which means we probably lived through many important events and have spent a considerable amount of time educating ourselves or becoming informed about the world we live in. Arcana could be our understanding of the power that influences Darkon, the Karget, and items or locations of power in the demi-planes of dread. History is us drawing upon our life experiences and our knowledge over major events that occurred in Darkon. And religion is our knowledge of various customs of cults and churches that have come to the plane. For level 5, we gain Uncanny Dodge, which will allow us to use our reaction to mitigate the damage dealt to us by an attacker we see. With level 6, we can choose 2 more skills to gain Expertise in, and went with Stealth and Insight to further improve our ability to hide and pursue our targets. When we hit level 7, we can negate damage dealt by abilities whenever we make a Dexterity saving throw with Evasion, and we can also cast second level spells, and here are my recommendations. Blur as a solid defensive option, making us harder to hit. Hold person is a crowd control option, which could be seen as our upgrade to our vampiric charm, now able to stop an enemy in their tracks. And Shadow Blade to weaponize the dark against our enemies. Keep in mind, due to the errata to Booming Blade, it no longer works with Shadow Blade. At level 8, we have the option to choose between an ability score increase or a feat again, and I went with the feat, choosing Warcaster to help maintain concentration on our spells, as we now have some viable options we want to keep protected. We can also learn any spell from the wizard's spell list, and I went with invisibility to further make us undetectable. This will help us continue to stealth for those times where there's nothing to hide behind. Hitting level 9, we can use magical ambush, which causes an enemy to roll disadvantage on any saving throw made against any spell we cast on them if we are hidden. And finally, for level 10, we can choose between an ability score increase or a feat again, and this time I went with the ability score increase. Choose dexterity, intelligence, or if possible both. Dexterity will buff our attacks, initiative, and armor class, while buffing our intelligence will benefit our spellcasting. Now let's take a look at our pros and cons. For our pros, expertise is no joke. We will hardly be failing at the tasks we have expertise in. Magic is the backbone of our auto combat utility. With the exception of Hold Person and Shadow Blade, our spells help us be a more effective rogue. Now for our cons. Just because you can cast spells doesn't make you a full-on spellcaster. Our spells are geared to make us being a better rogue. Don't expect to be slinging spells in combat. Stick to what we're good at. Pick a target, get in, and get out. And damage isn't our priority. Shadow Blade turns things up a notch and stacks on top of our sneak attack damage, but we are no way geared towards maximizing our damage output. With that said, I want to hear from you. What kind of horror hero would you make? Let me know down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.